If you want to come out of the other side of an AI flag with your grade untouched, you need to convince a panel that you did the thinking. Now, it's not about proving that you're innocent, and it's not about proving that you're a good
person who'd never cheat.
because you can't definitively prove either of those things. But what you can prove is that you did the thinking. And that's the only kind of innocent that a panel can actually verify. So it's the only thing that will actually get you off the hook. Here's the snag though. Your instinct is gonna be panic. And panic sounds a lot like
I promise I didn't cheat.
believable. Panic is what loses these cases. It's not the flag, it's not even the AI, it is the panic. So forget the spiral, forget the
My degree is over
voice in your head. There's a 5-step process. I call it the flagged 5. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how misconduct processes work, what your rights are at each stage, and how to write a response that is clear, calm, and evidence. All 5 steps connect, so stick with me start to finish. And there's also a free flagged student guide in the description, template language, evidence checklist, the lot. You don't have to figure this out alone. This is the final video in the Defensible Work series that I've created, and it's the one that I hope you never need, although with assessment guidelines moving back towards oral defense, more of you might need it sooner than you think. If you're new here, I'm Amy. This is the Edit Lab, and I've supported students through exactly this. The process, I promise, is way more navigable than it feels in the first moment of panic of getting that email, getting that flag, but only if you know what it actually involves. And that's what I'm here to show you. First, what actually happens when you're flagged? Firstly, it's important to remember that a flag is a trigger for a process. It is an invitation for you to explain. It is not a finding of guilt. Please, please, please remember that. That distinction is really easy to lose in that moment of panic, and it's worth holding on to before anything else. So here's broadly how it works. And yes, every institution is slightly different. We'll come back to that. Stage 1, you receive a notification. You may have already received one, that your work has been flagged. And at this point, nothing has been decided. Stage 2, you're invited to respond. So that might be a written statement, it might be a meeting, it might be both. This here is your opportunity. It is not a punishment. Stage 3, a panel reviews the evidence. So they look at the flag, they look at your response, and they sometimes even look at the work alongside your previous submissions, and they make a finding. Stage 4, if the finding goes against you, you do have the right to appeal. In most UK institutions, that right is explicit and formal. And again, going back to that thing that you really need to hold on to right from stage 1, institutions are not supposed to treat a detection tool flag as proof of anything. Most publish AI detection tools, and I've said this time and time again, including Turnitin, ChatGPT Zero, all of these things, they explicitly say that the results should not be used as the sole basis for a misconduct decision. If your institution is treating the flag as a verdict rather than a trigger for that process, that investigation, flag that for your appeal. Right, so that's the process, but here's what you actually do when you're inside it, and this is the bit you cannot afford to skim. The flagged 5. Step 1, read your institution's AI policy. Now, the policy decoder prompt from video 2 of this series is in that video's description. Paste your policy in, get a plain English summary of exactly where you stand and what the process is. Do that first, because step 2 only works if you've already done step 1. The idea is that you're meant to properly understand what is and isn't expected of students when they submit work. Because if you don't understand that, then of course you're not going to know where you might have crossed the line. This prompt will help you decipher that. Again, look at the description of video 2 in this Defensible Work series if you want that prompt. Step 2, don't respond immediately. You will want to respond the same day. Don't. Take 24 hours. A response written in panic looks like a response written in panic. You need to be calm and evidence, not fast. And while you're waiting that 24 hours, you're not doing nothing. You're doing the most important step of all of the 5 steps. This is the one that actually wins it. Step 3, build your process trail. This is the most important practical step. I call it the process trail. And if you've watched my series, you will have heard of it before. Everything that shows how you produced your work. That's what you need. You need your notes, you need your drafts, you need your reading lists, your browser history, you need your chat logs with AI tools showing how you use them, voice memos, maybe to yourself, annotated sources, transcript of meeting from a supervisor meeting that you might have had. You're building a picture. You're building a picture of a person who did the thinking. And the more concrete the trail, the stronger your position. So If you haven't been keeping a trail like this, okay, don't panic. As I said before, panic not good, and don't go anywhere. Video 1 of this series walks you through building one properly. I'll link that below. But finish this video first so you know exactly what you're building and why, and then go back to video 1 and build it out properly. It will make a lot more sense when you've seen where it's actually used in practice. Step 4, write a statement that's factual, not emotional. So once you've built your process trail, you need to actually say something with it. But this is where most people undo all the good work that they've done in one paragraph. Because saying,
I would never cheat.
that's not really a defense. Showing what you actually did is. The difference is enormous. I completed this essay over 3 weeks. My initial notes are dated X. I used AI to generate 5 possible openings and selected none of them, instead writing my own from my outline. Here are those drafts. That's a statement. I promise I didn't cheat is not. One more step, and this is the one that people skip because they think that they won't need it. But you will want to know this before you're in the room, not after. Step 5, know your appeal rights before the first meeting. If you go into a meeting room not knowing that you can appeal, you might agree to something that you didn't have to agree to. Knowing the appeals process, knowing what might happen next, that puts you in a position of power. Knowledge, as George Orwell always said, is power. Here at the Edit Lab, we love knowledge. The honest bit. Okay, here's my take on this. If you have watched this series back to back and you've been really careful and really considerate in how you have used AI, you are not the problem that this process is designed to catch. But unfortunately, the process is catching a lot of people that it isn't designed to catch. That is an institutional failure. It is a problem with this software, and it is a problem with how the results are interpreted. It is not a personal failure. Now, having said all that, it doesn't make being flagged any less frightening. I know, it is frightening. But being frightened isn't the same as being guilty. And it's not the same as being defenseless. You have rights. You have a process now. And if you have built any kind of process trail, notes, drafts, anything, you have the evidence. Use it. And also draw on the free flagged student guide linked in this description, which has template language for your written statement, an evidence checklist, and the key questions that you can ask at every stage. Link to it below, grab it before you need it. And that is a wrap on the Defensible Work series. 6 videos, start to finish, on how to use AI for your academic work without handing over the thinking, and what to do if things do go sideways anyway. The free flagged student guide is in the description, and the full prompt pack from video 1 is still there too. If you haven't grabbed it, it really is worth having before your next submission. If this series has been useful, share it with someone who needs it. That is genuinely the best thing that you can do for them. It will definitely get you in their good books, especially because more and more students are needing this now more than ever. And subscribe to the Edit Lab if you want to stick around. I've got a lot more coming over the next few months. I'm Amy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.